Hi guys, this is Rachel O'Brien and I have with me the amazing, stunning Heather Nichols. Hi Heather.
Hi. Hey.
So I've asked Heather to come on. She's one of the people that inspires me to keep choosing, and she inspires me to keep creating and to keep going with my business. So I've asked her to come on and asked her what she would like to contribute to CFs with their business, with their life. So when I talk to people, sometimes a topic or something pops, and it was so funny. We were just talking beforehand, and I said to Heather, "The topic for you is like ease isn't always easy," and she started laughing. She was like, "Okay, I've navigated that one this week." So we are going to talk about the difference between ease and easy. So Heather, talk to me. What can you contribute to us, darling?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's funny. I just finished my radio show before we did this, and I was like, oh, right. That tool, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. That's a great one, you know? It's funny that actually, when I really consistently use that tool, it really, really works. And then I sort of forget about it, and then I use it, and then it works, and then I forget. So I don't think I remembered to say that in the past week. But
back to basics, and I have to say I used that quite a bit yesterday. I was in and out of ease. It was like not fun for me. So just to remind people, hey guys, this tool is one of the first ones we get when we do a barcast. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory.
Yeah, and ease is not always easy. Like easy is a really more of a point of view. Like to me, easy is a point of view and a bit of a refined judgment, whereas ease is a space. It's a space of choice. It's a space of like being the tools and being the 10 commandments and like being the infinite being that we be, and just like always aware of that, like always aware that there's another question or a different question that we could ask, or somebody that we could ask for a contribution from, or like another choice that we can make, or something else that could be created, et cetera, et cetera. It's like these tools, we have a zillion of them. And as CFs, we really do have, we've all, done a lot of classes and we have these manuals, and it's like, we've got like some really incredible resources, and sometimes we forget.
And that's okay,
Yeah, totally.
I mean, for me, I've always known that there's no such thing as perfect consciousness. I wouldn't be here if that was the case. And I suppose that in itself, Heather, to me is huge, what you've just said. It's like we don't have to be right or perfect or have the boxes ticked, and I really had that point of view before Access, to be a coach or to contribute to someone's life or to sit in front of them, that I had to have all my shit figured out.
Good luck with that. Like how many people just never start, because they don't. That's always amazing to me. I'm like, just start, like just fuck it up, fail, it's cool, just keep going, and that actually, the never give up, never give in, never quit, which I'm Gary's doing a call on that soon. I'm really looking forward to. That to me is like it. If you have that as your primary sort of operative state, you'll succeed. Like you will. Like it's sort of like I don't know. Maybe I'm like, is it a law of the universe? I don't know, but it's a reality. Where if you really are willing to keep going, keep using the tools, keep asking questions, you're not gonna fail.
Well, that just reminds me, I love when the two of us come together, because we always have these, like, our worlds opening and changing. Gary said something, and I can't remember which class it was recently, and he said, when you're willing to change anything, you can never fail, because you actually have got the awareness of what doesn't work, and then you just go on and choose and choose and choose. So thanks for that. And there's one other thing that I'd like to say. When we were in Rome at Facilitators this year, you turned around and you said something at the mic, and you said, I'm going to facilitate the shit out of this. and I can't remember what it was in reference to. And you've always had the point of view that you'll facilitate everything for yourself, for other people. And like that to me is the willingness to, and the whole topic is easy, not ease. That's not always ease when you have to show up with difficult events or difficult occurrences that are created in your life outside of your creation with other people. So for me, yeah.
Well, what that was actually, we were talking about like when your classes don't actually sort of like, they're not going the way that you would like them to, or maybe there's not enough people or whatever. And I was referring to a class that I facilitated recently where it was like, there was a lot of intensity. There was not very many people. I had a lot of intensity in my world and I wasn't very happy with how it turned out. And going it, the people that were there and all that. And I just went, you know what? I am making the demand that I facilitate the shit out of me during this next 4 days. It was like, I am like, that's my demand, that I receive more from this class than I've ever thought possible as a facilitator before. And I did, like, I actually changed my entire business from my facilitation, but it was like of them, but it was of everything. And I included myself and I included my business and I kept going. And I think too, like the past week for me has been this super, and I've just been really exhausted. And
me too, I have to say this week.
Yeah. And there's a lot going on right now. And we're getting close to 10,000 people in consciousness and a lot of people having a lot of body intensity. So there's all this stuff going. And it's like, for me, it's like, I've been in sort of a poo pile for the past week. And it's like, I don't do that. Like, I don't do poo, like it's sort of like when I'm in that space, I am doing everything I can to get out of it. I'm asking every question and I actually asked people for contributions. I ended up last night doing a session with another amazing facilitator who rocked my world. But it's like, I'm willing to just like keep going and keep asking questions and keep and sometimes it's not easy, right? But the tools and our choice make it ease.
Totally. And at the end of the foundation, which we all facilitate, in that piece, he said, it may be the most difficult process you've ever undergone to actually come away from the tapestry of polarization. And that's what you're talking about. Like, if we continue to facilitate, if we continue to show up, we will actually step into allowance of ourselves with more ease. Is it always easy? No. And what's beyond every point of view that sticks you, or every right or wrong, is what you talked about, is this space of ease. And I had no clue how this conversation was going to go between the two of us this evening and daytime in the US. Mm-hmm. And now as I look at this, it's like that's even unfolding in my life, that this space of ease is beyond everywhere where we get pulled in the poo or refined judgment, and that we are always showing up for that one where my reality is the most ongoing, and I don't care what it looks like, it's unpredictable. And what if we were to never give up on having our reality, never quit? And we're here to support you guys. That's the reality of this. We move through this really fast when we get the support that we require, either doing a session with another amazing CF, or ask what you require sometimes to move through. That's to the space.
Yeah. Like what new questions can you ask? What different questions can you ask? Maybe you just ask other people what questions they're asking, or what does your body require? Like there's so many, it's like, there's like the moment to moment choice is, it is what creates so much more. And like, what if you do have the pile of poo or whatever, it's like, what if it was like, okay, cool. And what's it going to take to get out of this? Like really fast, you know,
Yeah.
like how long are you willing to sit in it? You know? And for me, like, I was like, I know Dane talks about this where he's like, 24 hours, that's, you know, sort of like his agreement with the universe was like no more than 24. And I was like, all right, 24, 48. Oh, so like, it just kept, but the thing is too, is that, and I know we're probably going to end, but I also want to just remind people that.
No, I get this a huge contribution, you know, and here's us following the energy.
Yeah, totally. You know, I'm really aware lately of how much like we've put all these things in place in our world to stop us, right? Like and a lot of this stuff we're uncovering with Access and like the refined judgments and the relational digitization, like all this stuff is like everything that we've put in place over 4 trillion years and beyond to stop us, right? From actually being the consciousness that we be, creating what we can create, like really showing up for what we're choosing here. And so when you have a big, and this year in particular for me has been like, I went into this year with like huge demands, fun demands, and like really like, I am actually willing to do whatever it takes to create this. Really, truly. I'm willing to let go of anything. I'm willing to lose anything, anybody. I'm willing to like have my whole life change if that's what's required. Choose anything, like truly, truly be anything, all of that. And that was sort of like my deal with the universe. And so there's been a lot of intensity in my world since then. And there's been a ton of change in my business. And so that's the other piece is like if I take this past week of just being, you know, it's like, okay, so what is actually changing here? Like, is, you know, that whole, what's right about this that I'm not getting? And is it the change that I've been asking for? And it's like, yeah, it is. So this is all the shit that I've put in my world, you know, to stop me. Like, it's on its way out now. And awesome.
Can you imagine it's on its way out now? And that I mean, having that awareness in the midst of all that, this is everything that I put in place to stop me, and now it's on its way out. And
I've asked for it. Like I actually was like, bring it on. Like whatever needs to change, whatever needs to happen, I'm in. You know, and I know that like I'm already starting to get like today is a much more creative day in my world. And it's like, okay, like it's now like, I get that there's an availability of creation for me that hasn't been there before ever, you know, and I'm excited to start to play with that. And how much do we all get extraordinarily grumpy when we're not creating, you know, and that's a huge one for me. It's like, God, you know, it really doesn't work for me to not, you know, so
it just doesn't work. So guys, I suppose the piece I'm taking away from this conversation with Heather, who I adore, is that be an allowance. When you have that moment that you think everything isn't working, just ask a question. Is this the change I've been looking for? And really, allowance, and even more allowance.
Even if you need a little champagne to get there or a cocktail or whatever, have sex, go in the woods, you know, like whatever it takes. Take one for the team.
Or even two. So thank you so much for coming on and talking to us and sharing this amazing work, and I adore you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I adore you. And all of you, CFs, like, you know, one more thing I just want to say, I am like just so grateful for everything that everybody's creating in the world. And I've taken a bunch of calls and stuff with different CFs lately and like conversations and sessions. And it's like, you guys are amazing. And I'm just so grateful for everything that you are all creating and we are all creating. It's amazing. So please, whatever you do, don't acknowledge you and what you're creating.
I love you.
Enjoy I love this. You too.
And bye for us for now.
Bye.
Bye.